guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So I'm just doing a quick video today. Now I've done this many times before, but I want to colour some seam binding because I'm off to the UK for next week, and I wanted to make some little seam binding flowers while I'm there, when I've got sort of like a spare 5 minutes. So I thought I would do it with you today. I'm using seam binding, which is the Hug Snug one. And this is the last of this reel. I've got one more reel left, so I like my seam binding, and I'm going to use the Distress Oxide sprays. Now I'm doing these to go with my sort of like Pansy papers, so I want this sort of like quite a nice sort of like deep purple. This is Seedless Preserve, so I want to use that. I've got this lovely one which is Milled Lavender. I've also got a little bit of pink in there as well, and then I have got some yellow to make sort of like a yellowy one, and I might add a little bit of orange. I might do them a little bit so they've got a few different colours in them, which I've not sort of like done before. So I've got 4 piles, so I've taken a sort of like what the rest of what was on my reel, and then I've just sort of like cut it into 4, and then I've taken some of this lovely sort of like lacy, it's elasticated lace. So let's see how that colours. So I've got 4. I'm going to just do one at a time. So the first thing I am going to do, I've got these as well which are ready done, which is a lovely sort of lemony, not lemony, greeny colour, blue, and I've got this one which is made from just some cotton. Look, I've got orange on my hands already. Right, I'm going to put my gloves on because I will no doubt make a mess. So I'm just going to do this. Like I said, I've done this many times before. There's lots of sort of like different ways people do it. They put this into like a plastic bag, wet it, and then scrunch it up. But I'm just going to use my gloves. This is water in here, so this is just plain old water. I'm just going to wet it because I find that if you wet your seam binding first, it takes the colour really well. It sort of like spreads it out a lot better. So I'm just going to roll that up just to make sure. I don't want it too wet, but I do want, you know, bits wet, all of it wet. So let's just do that. There we go. Pop that in there. Let's just wet this. Let's see how this will come out. Not sure how well this will do. I think I'm going to go for the yellow first, so I don't make lots of mess. We'll go for the lighter colours first. Now let's pop this one in. So this is Scattered Straw, so it's not really that sort of dark. But I'm going to just use this. Oh, actually, look at that. That's quite nice, isn't it? Now again, I'll put them both together. So all as I do, very simple, is just rub it all in together. That is a lovely colour, isn't it? Look at that. Now I've got sort of darker bits and lighter bits. Now I think that's how I'm going to leave it, because when I make some flowers, I want them to have a little bit of contrast between each other. Do you know what I mean? Not all the same colour. I want it to sort of like have little dark bits and little light bits. So actually, I'm going to leave that. So that was quite simple, wasn't it? Let's just rub this one together. See how that comes out. I might add a little bit of this one, which is mustard seed. That's got a little darker in there. So just what I mean, so we've got the darker and the lighter bits on there, so it's not all one colour. A little bit of white in there. Let me just give it a little bit more of a mix. See, that's quite nice, isn't it? So let's just leave that over there. That's quite nice. That's got little light, that's got little, that hasn't quite taken there, but do you know, I quite like that as it is. So I'm going to leave it like that. So there we go. That was pretty simple for this first one, wasn't it? Let me just take that off my hands. Wipe the table and pop these 2 on there like that. Perfect. So this is sort of the yellowy Might add a little bit of orange into that actually. And when it's dry, I might add a little bit of orange. So let's take this bit. Let's take another piece. So just one piece on there. That feels awfully long. There we go. Let's just wet it. Oh look, I've got a bit of pinky in there. Just mix it up. I'm not too worried. I've got a little bit of yellow on my hands, but I'm not too worried about that. Because the pansies and stuff do have a little bit of other colours in them, don't they? That's why I wanted it to sort of look a bit, you know, a bit more colour in there. Let's do this one. Roll it around. Right, I'm going to go in with the lighter one. This is milled lavender. Sometimes these get quite clogged up. So let me just take that out. Actually, I think this will be quite nice with the yellow. Just going to do that, look. Give it a good roll around. Look at that. Can you see it's sort of got the yellow and the purple in it? Hopefully you can see that, the yellow and the sort of lavender colour. But I think these are going to be quite nice in there. I'm going to leave that like that. I haven't made them too wet because sometimes I do wet them quite a lot. And then you end up with lots of sort of like liquid, watery liquid. Too much, I think. Let's put that a little bit more. Pop the lid on. There we go. So it's pretty simple, isn't it? It's just... There we go. So we've got lighter and darker in there, which is lovely. Let's just pop those over a little bit and pop those on there. Ooh, I do like these. I'm just going to rub that down a little bit. Pop the lid on. Now let's go for another one. So it doesn't take very long. It doesn't take very long to make these at all. Now sometimes to dry them, I will pop them outside in the sunshine, so it depends where you are, how warm it is. And then obviously if I'm doing it now, they will go outside because we've still got beautiful weather. But if I'm doing it in the winter, I will sort of like iron them dry. And it depends. If you want them to stay wrinkled up like this, then you want to sort of like air dry them. But if you want them sort of like flat, this one I ironed and it's sort of like flat, and you can see this one I haven't ironed and it's sort of all crinkly. So it all depends what sort of like look you want, what you're after. Oops. Roll that up. This has got a little bit of yellow. I quite like that yellow in there actually. Right, I'm going to go in with this one. And this is quite dark. This comes out quite dark. Can you see? But that is the colour that I would like. There we go. Normally when I dye them, I like it to be one constant, continuous colour, if you know what I mean. But look at that. Just a little rub through there. And it gives you that. And I think to make some little flowers, I think that will look lovely. It's all like the ombre, isn't it? Give it a little bit more of a rub. There we go. Love it. Can you see? That's probably could be a little bit darker, but I think that will be quite nice, won't it? It could probably be a little bit more purpley, which I might actually do the last one, maybe a bit more purpley. There we go. Give this a rub. There we go. I might actually add a little bit of brown into the next one and see if I can get it sort of like a little bit darker. There we go. I think that's quite nice actually. There we are. There's that one, and then I want to do, I've got this actually, which is the aged mahogany, which I think, let's give it a go. Shall we just give it a go? Let's take this, pop those on there, over there, and we shall wet these. Rub it up. Let's get these nice and wet. There we go. That, like that colour's quite nice. If you're making like a very delicate coloured journal, oops, that's quite nice just on its own like that. Right, what I am going to do is add a tiny bit of this. Not that you can do it sort of tiny. Let's rub them both together. Now, before they dry and you don't like the colour, you can always wash it off. You can just run it under the tap and they will just wash off. So this is more, I think, of a sort of a reddy brown. Let's have a look. I do like to experiment with my inks and colours as well. That's quite nice, but it's not quite purpley, is it? Let's add a little bit of milled lavender into there. I do like these colours. Wanted a bit more purple. I needed a little bit more purple in there. 2 seconds. Okay, I don't have another purple, but I'm going to add a little bit of blue just to see if I can make it a little bit more of a purple colour. Look at that. A little bit of water in this one. Oopsie daisy. I think I'm going to have to get this one a little bit wetter. Look, there we go. Adding the purple, adding the blue gives it a sort of bit of more of a purple colour. Oh, I like that. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. So you've got lots of lovely colours in there. You've got that beautiful purple colour. Lovely. Look at that. That's super. Now I added this, didn't I? And I'm going to add a little bit of blue, a little bit more water. And just mix that up. Not sure whether I like this one very much. But then again, not sure whether I like that mahogany in there. Let's see if we can get some of this out. There we go. Oh, that's better. That's better. Look at that. These are beautiful, aren't they? Loving them. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Lovely, lovely. So, we have got this beautiful vibrant pink, which is just beautiful. Loving that. We've got the purple. We've got this beautiful sort of like lavender and yellow. And then we have the yellow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and dry these. and then I will be back and I will show you what they look like. So 2 seconds. Okay guys, so look how beautiful they came out. Look at these, just gorgeous. I did iron them because I've just made one of each colour there, just to see what they look like, but I'm just think it's come out absolutely beautiful. Loving it. So that's the pink, this is the purple, which has got some beautiful colours in it. This is sort of like the lighter lavender pink, and it's got like a little bit of, it was yellow in there, but it's almost like a beigey colour. I think that looks beautiful. And then we've got the yellow, and that's got some white in there as well. Loving it. Absolutely love them. Now I cut off 8 inches, which is roughly 20 centimetres, and made the little flowers, which are beautiful. But the other thing I wanted to try, and if you look at the colours, look, this is the page I sort of based it on. Obviously they're not pansies, they are just little flowers, but they go absolutely perfect, don't they? So like a little cluster of these is just gorgeous. But as you can see, they got sort of like colour in the middle of these. Now I'm going to just pop this may work or it may not. I wanted to just pop just a little bit of the orange inside here, but I wanted to, I'm going to wet it. I'm just going to wet this in the middle, just so it's wet, and then little dab of this, just a tiny little dab, just to make that orange in the middle. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, love it. And that will sort of spread out, so that will spread out quite far because it's wet on there. Oh, beautiful. Right, what colour? We could do the purple. What should we pop in with the purple? I might do a little bit of yellow. Do you think yellow will come out in there? Let's see. This is the mustard seed. Let's see. Might need the orange in here as well, but let's just see if we can get a little bit of yellow in there. Oh no, it is coming in there. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I like that one. I'll do a close-up at the end. What's this one? This is this one. What should we pop into this one? I might do a little bit of dark, or should we go with... I might even do yellow in this one as well. I do like the yellow. Just a little bit of water in there. Let's pop a little bit in there. I might just pop... Spray that one a little bit more. Beautiful. Love them. So they look like... not necessarily pansies, but the pansy colour. I'm going to go in with yellow because I think the yellow looks nice. Look at that. So just a little dot of yellow in there. I think I like the yellow more than the orange. Let's pop a little bit of yellow in with that. Oh, I do love them. And then you could probably, once they're dry, you could probably pop a little bit of blingy bit in the middle. You could pop a little brad through there to hold it onto a page. But look at that, aren't they just gorgeous? Loving them. So I will leave those to dry. So when I'm away, so I will be away. So next week I won't probably pop any videos on because I don't really have anything ready to go. So when I get back, I will show you what I've made, and then we will get back onto making a pansy journal. So there we go, guys. It's a little bit of colouring your seam binding, and that's just with the Distress Oxide. Now the Oxide inks, you can use all sorts of things to colour seam binding. It doesn't have to be seam binding. You can use sort of like any, as you know, this is a synthetic fibre, and it's still coloured that really well. Now if you're going to wash them, I would suggest using a colour fast dye, proper dyes to that you dye your clothes and stuff with. These will wash out. I did iron them, so hopefully it will, you know, I don't wash my journals or anything anyway, but again, be aware that it will wash out. And the oxides give a more of a duller look, because they're oxidized, so they give that nice duller look. But if you wanted to keep your seam binding shiny, don't use the oxides. Use just a normal distress ink, not the oxide inks, but these are the ones that I've used, and I just think they are beautiful. Really, really happy with those, loving those. So not too far off the colours, are they? I think we've done a pretty good job there. Just beautiful. So there we go, guys. We'll have a fabulous rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye bye.